India and United Arab Emirates inked their first free trade agreement under the ambit of CEPA, or the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, on February 18, 2022 to give a fillip to trade, commerce and investment between the two nations. It gives duty-free access to a wide range of goods and services, boost to exports and double the trade to $100 billion in the next 5 years, taking the bilateral ties to a new level. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal and UAE Minister for Economy Abdullah bin Tawq Al Mari signed the deal in New Delhi during a virtual summit between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The FTA has been unique in many ways. It took just 88 days to seal the deal, for which negotiations started in September 2021, and it is the first major trade deal signed by the NDA government since it came to power in 2014. The agreement covers areas like goods, services, rules of origin, customs procedures, government procurement, digital economy, intellectual property rights, and e-commerce. Robust rules of origin have been put in place to protect both the nations from misuse of the agreement by the other countries. A permanent safety mechanism is there to safeguard domestic businesses in both the countries against sudden increase in trade volumes. India has given duty concessions on gold exported from UAE, while Indian exporters will attract 0% duty on jewelry. Some products have been kept on the exclusion list for both the nations, while in some cases, customs duty will be reduced in a phased manner. For the first time in the pharmaceutical sector, the two sides agreed that Indian medicines or medical products approved by developed countries will get market access and regulatory approval within 90 days for being marketed in the UAE. The CEPA will come into effect from the first week of May, 60 days after entry into force. After this deal, over 90% of India's exports to the United Arab Emirates will become duty-free. 9 broad sectors that account for 90% of India's exports in terms of value to the UAE will get immediate market access at zero duty from the day the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement is enforced. These sectors are textiles, engineering products, gems and jewelry, pharmaceuticals and medical devices, plastics, automobiles, leather and footwear, agricultural products, and other labor-intensive products such as furniture, wood products, and sports goods. Annual exports worth $26 billion from India, on which currently 5% import duty is levied in the UAE, are set to benefit. The MSME sector from India will gain a lot as the deal opens up around 1 million job opportunities for the young people. The UAE is expected to benefit from potentially larger exports of metals and minerals, petrochemicals, petroleum products, and dates. The agreement will give a fillip to manufacturing in India. The reduction in import cost of inputs would benefit domestic industries. Zero duty on textiles is likely to generate additional exports worth $2 billion over the next 5 years. Indian generic medicines and medical devices will get automatic approval in 90 days, enhancing their production. Export of plain gold jewelry and gold-studded jewelry is expected to increase to $10 billion in 2023. On the other hand, the exports of engineering goods are projected to grow up from $4 billion in 2021-22 to $7 billion in 2024-25. The free trade agreement is important given the fact that UAE is the gateway to West Asia, Africa, and Europe. The UAE is the third largest trading partner for India in bilateral trade and the second largest destination for Indian exports after the US. India-UAE bilateral trade was $60 billion and exports were at $29 billion in 2020. Besides, UAE is the 8th largest investor in India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan issued a joint vision statement titled Advancing the India and UAE Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, New Frontiers, New Milestone at a virtual summit which lays down key deliverables. It calls for a boost to bilateral trade to $100 billion in 5 years, a dedicated investment zone for UAE firms, joint ventures to focus on setting up a food corridor, dedicated India Mart in Jebel Ali Free Zone, support energy transition and work on low carbon future, establish a joint hydrogen task force to scale up technology, and setting up of an Indian Institute of Technology in the UAE. Prime Minister Narendra Modi summed up the mood aptly when he said this agreement will herald a new age in our financial relations, while the Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal mentioned that both the nations are entering a golden era of economic and trade cooperation with the signing of India-UAE CEPA. The UAE Minister for Economy, Abdullah bin Taq Al Mari, expressed confidence that the UAE-India Comprehensive Partnership Agreement will be regarded as a towering achievement, a new era not only for the two nations but for global trade. As India celebrates 75 years of its independence and UAE celebrates its Golden Jubilee year, the two nations could not have asked for a better gift for each other in the form of Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement or the CEPA. It is a win-win for both the economies and their people.